Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Valentine's Day look. I'm sure that you probably guessed it from the title, but I'm also semi-decked out in some heart earrings. Got my Valentine's Day nails on. I'm just really excited. Also excited that this is about 1 year ago that I published my first YouTube video, and not that I have stayed consistent whatsoever. It's really a big goal of mine to do that this year, and last year was the first year that inspired me enough to actually go ahead and do it. I've been wanting to do it for so long. It's going to be a very Valentine's Day look, so if you just want to keep watching, we will go ahead and get started. I'm going to prime my face with the Catrice Prime and Fine Smoothing Refiner. This is kind of like a putty primer, and I'm just going to go ahead and take my finger and just put this on my, right where I have a lot of pores, just right by the sides of my nose. I'll bring it up onto my nose a little bit, onto my forehead, and on my chin. You can just blend that out into your skin. Next up, I am going to go in with the Loreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. This is a new foundation for me, but I really enjoy it a lot. I'm going to start off with one pump here. I am going to take my Love is the Foundation brush by It Cosmetics. It's got all these hearts, and it's a heart-shaped brush. It's so cute. I'm just going to take that on my brush, and I'm going to go ahead and start blending this into the skin. I'm using kind of tapping motions rather than spreading it around. This has really good coverage, and the finish is, I would say it's like a demi-matte. It's not too matte. It doesn't really dry out my skin or anything, but it definitely does keep me nice and shine-free. New favorite concealer is definitely the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. The color that I picked up was Fair Rose. It's a little bit light for me, so I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of Light 12 from Colourpop. But this concealer is so good. It's so comparable to Shape Tape. This wand is very similar, and it is really full coverage. And honestly, I don't find that it creases. I wore this with no foundation on or anything. The one day I was just kind of testing it, and I ran out the door, and it didn't crease, and I was so shocked because it doesn't claim to be creaseless or anything. It just basically claims to be 16-hour, and I was just very impressed by it. So I definitely need to go pick up my other shade that would match my skin tone in that, but I've just been mixing it with a Colourpop concealer for now. Using the same brush, I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out and bring it up onto my eyelid as well. Yeah, well, my name is a worm. My name is a worm. I'm a worm. My name is Wasco, but I am a worm. So it's a worry boy. It's a worry boy. I'm running really low on my Coty Airspun, but this is my favorite, and I just used the original shade, I think. And I go in with this pointed brush from Morphe, and I just take this underneath my eyes. I usually do a little bit down the nose, forehead, smile lines, and chin, just the center of my face. Then to set the entire face, this is one of the only products that is in drugstore. It's my Girlactik Luminous Face Powder in Fair. This is honestly just something that I have not been able to find at the drugstore. But this is just a powder with a little bit of luminosity to it, so it sets your makeup, but it also gives your skin a little bit of a glow. We're going to go ahead and go in with bronzer, and for bronzer I'm going to take the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer, and this is in the shade Golden Gal. This is a newer product from BH Cosmetics, and it does have really super cute packaging, and the shade is really nice for my skin tone. I'm going to go ahead and take my Real Techniques 100 brush. This is like my favorite brush for applying bronzer. I'm going to go ahead and dip it in there, and I'm just going to put it right in the hollows of my cheeks. This brush is really nice to just put the product right where you want it, because it is an angular brush, and so it's very thin, and it's really easy to just blend into your contour area. And I really love this bronzer. I think the shade is really nice for fair skin tones. It does have a little bit of a sheen to it, nothing too crazy. I also like to bring my bronzer up over into my hairline on the side, just so that there's not like a straight mark where it's on my cheeks and nowhere else. You can take a little under the chin, sharpen up that jawline, and I'm going to run just a little bit down the sides of my nose. I am going to use the Colourpop palette first, the Ooh La La palette, and I'm going to use these matte shades for my eyes. I'm going to go in with the shade Soft Core, which is this shade right here in the middle of the palette. And I'm going to take that on a Colourpop fluff brush, and I'm just going to run this into the crease. I'm going to be building this up slowly, but I'm going to be bringing it up closer to the brow bone. And I really am building up the shade and kind of blending over it, bringing it up higher onto the brow bone area, just so that when we use the rest of the colors, this color still peeks out. And I'm kind of stopping it right here at the edge of my eyebrow. And then once you have that first color built up in your crease a little bit, I'm going to go in with another shade, and I'm going to go in with the shade Poodle, which is the second deepest matte shade here in the palette. And I'm going to take this on an IT Cosmetics Airbrush Blending Crease Brush, number 105. So I'm going to keep this shade really tight in the crease. So the other shade, we kind of brought it up higher. I'm going to keep this right in the crease. Just keeping my brush right in that hollow point of my eye and kind of going back and forth. A little bit of a small circular motion, windshield wipers right in the crease. Okay, and then so with this super hot pink called Sandbar in the palette, I'm actually going to go in with more of a smaller brush, like almost like a bullet brush. This is a tiny brush. I honestly have no idea where it came from, but it's just a very tiny little brush. So I'm going to take a very small amount of that on my brush. And again, I'm going to really put this right in the crease on top of that last shade. And it's really just going to make it super intense and bright pink. Okay, and so now that you can see when I'm looking straight ahead, I'm losing a lot of this pink. So I'm going to go in with the original color again with the original brush. So the shade Soft Core, and again, my Colourpop brush. And I'm really going to bring this shade up onto my brow bone. Okay, so as you can see, I brought that up a little bit higher, just so now when I'm looking straight ahead, you can see it on both eyes. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to bring that hot pink shade Sandbar all over my entire lid. And I'm just going to use that same brush again and just kind of pack the hot pink shade all over my lid here. I'm going to take a brush that has no product on it, more of a dense brush, and I am going to go just right over the edges of everything just to really soften this out. So this will just help blend everything and diffuse it really nice and soft if you feel like you went a little bit too hard, especially around the edges. So I'm just, again, using this brush that has no product on it at all, and I'm just running it over the edges of the eyeshadow. So as you can see, that just kind of helped blend it a little bit, and it took up a little bit of the product that was extra laying around the edges there. I'm going to go over my lids with the shade Vela from Colourpop. This is the collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and this is just a gorgeous pink, and it almost has a little bit of like a purple reflect in it. So I'm going to go on the lid with this, and I think mostly what it's going to do is just add a little bit of shimmer. It does have a little bit of a peach undertone as well. Alright, now that the top of the eyes are done, I'm going to go ahead and do blush and everything. And I think for blush, I am going to go in with this Love Struck blush. This is from JCat Beauty, and this is in the shade Angel Face. It's really cute. I swatched it, but it had a little cat imprint, and I think it's just so sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and take that on my Morphe E4 brush. Oh, wow. That's a lot of pigment there. Holy moly. Okay. We're going to be really gentle with this guy. Shade is really pretty. I ended up buying 2 of these, and I don't think I ever really used them. I think I ordered them not realizing how bright they were. Like online they looked a little bit more neutral. But when I got them in the mail, they were a little bit more, they were a little bit brighter than I had originally thought. But this is a really pretty shade. It actually doesn't look as bright on the cheeks as it does in the pan, and it does have a really nice sheen. If you can see that there, it looks really pretty. Then for highlight, I did bring out two options. I have Don't Flutter Yourself by Wet n Wild, which is actually a blush, but it's a very, very pretty highlight. And I also brought out the Wet n Wild MegaGlow in, Written in the Stars. This is the limited edition for the Zodiac collection. So let me go ahead and try the Don't Flutter Yourself blush first and see how I like that. And I'm going to take this on a Wet n Wild P77 brush. This is pretty pink, so I'm just wondering if it's going to look ridiculous or not. Kind of have like a little bit of a mark there. It looks like where it looks a little bit too dark for my skin tone. So whenever you have that, like, I would never put this on my nose because I can already tell it's a little bit too dark for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take a very, very small amount of Written in the Stars. This is a loose powder. As you can see, it's really, really light pink. It's a very icy highlight, but it looks so beautiful. If you're not into sparkly highlights, I would probably go ahead and say you won't like it. Their loose highlighter formula is really nice. This one specifically, I feel like, is a little bit more of a glittery highlight though, and this was a part of the Zodiac collection. So if you can still get your hands on this, I think it's really pretty. Okay, and since we are mostly done with the face, I am going to go ahead and set, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I actually really do like this a lot. I think that the sprayer is nice, and I feel like it really sets my makeup into place. Alright, and so I am going to go ahead and do my brows really quick. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Brunette, and then the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer in the shade Auburn. I will actually just let you guys know how I've been doing my brows recently, which has been a little bit different than what I used to do. So I've just been taking this and just going straight underneath my brow and creating like one straight line pretty much, even though this looks crazy. You can definitely go ahead and blend it out afterwards, so don't worry about that. So then I'll start like about halfway on the top of my brow, which is where my brow starts to get a little more sparse. So I go ahead and just kind of fill in very lightly the tail of my brow, which is where I feel like I have less hair. I have a lot of hair in my brow right here in the center, so I usually go ahead and leave this front part pretty open. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to definitely take the other end of my spoolie, and what I'm going to do is just blend this. I honestly think that the key to natural-ish looking eyebrows is a spoolie for sure. So you can use whatever product that you want, but just make sure that it's distributed through your eyebrow and it doesn't look drawn on. Honestly, if I'm just going for a really natural look, I'll just use this because this is tinted. And again, I use the shade Auburn, so my brows are naturally blonde, and I'm trying to get my brows to match my red hair. So basically, this is the brush, and it has a little bit of little fibers in there. So then what I do is I take the front of my brows and I brush them straight up. And then I just kind of comb this through the rest of my brows. And because I filled in the back end of my brows, I really don't I'm not super precise with the application in the back. I do like my brow hairs to kind of look a little bit furry and a little bit fluffed, so I go ahead and brush them straight up. But this is what I use for just the front, so I didn't fill in the front with any pencil or anything. I feel like when you box off the front of your brows, that's when they look really unnatural. So instead of filling the front ends in with pencil, I just fill them in with this. And then again, I just go ahead and just run this through the ends of my brows. So that is a pretty typical brow for me. It is all, spiked up and looks a little crazy, but those will fall. They'll fall down a little bit throughout the day, and I just really like the way that it looks. I'm going to go ahead and put on a little bit of mascara. Does anyone else out there chronically get mascara on your eyelid? Because I do it every time I put mascara on, I swear. Okay, so I really want to attempt something really fun. I picked up this pigment called Pink Hearts from MAC. If you can see, there are a whole bunch of little pink hearts inside of here. And I really want to put them on my lid, naturally. I don't know how exactly I want to do this. I'm almost positive I kind of want to put them in like a line right here on my brow bone. That was kind of like my thought process. I think it's going to be really hard to do. So bear with me. That's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and take my Revlon, or no, I'm sorry, this is the Duo Brush On Adhesive. And so I have a little tiny brush here that I'm going to use to put them on my eyes. Seems like a very delicate process. I'm not sure if I can do this. Okay. That is the cutest. Oh no, it's kind of getting lost in my fold. Oh no. Oh, well, it looks really cute if I keep my eyelids taut, so I guess I'm gonna make sure I do that. Oh my god, it's so cute. Are you kidding? Okay. I will do the rest and I will be right back. Why do I have to be old? Why do I have to have a saggy lid? Ugh. When I kind of relax my eyes, it kind of falls, which is not the best, but this is the look on the eyes, and I kind of love it. I'm sorry. I know it's probably a little bit weird, but let's go ahead and finally move on to the lips and the under eye. So for the waterline, I am going to go in with the Colourpop Boots liner, and this is a super hot pink liner. This shade Opulent, which is a little bit more of a purpley shade, and I am going to go ahead and use that same little brush that I used before, this little smudger brush, and I'm just going to smudge that under the lash line. So I'm going to go ahead and take the NYX lip liner, and this is in the shade Pale Pink. I'm going to top that off with the NYX Candy Slick Glowy Lip Color, and I have mine in the shade Sugar Coated Kiss. How cute is this packaging? And they smell really good. Alright guys, and that is the end of this tutorial. I did go ahead and add a little bit more mascara just so that it made my eyelashes look a bit more pronounced. I was going to go ahead and add some false lashes, but because of the hearts, I really don't want to cover them up because they're like the star of the show for this look, and I love this so much. Obviously, you could use whatever lip color you want. You could change things up. I really like the way that the eyes turn out. I really love the Ooh La La palette from Colourpop. So again, if you really like pinks, I think you would really, really like this palette. I'm obsessed. I really love it so much. And I will probably be doing another Valentine's Day look, probably a red Valentine's Day look. Maybe more of a romantic one. But I'm having fun playing with color, and like I said, you could definitely do this without the hearts. Use a different lip. I think the eye itself was really pretty before we even added the hearts, but the hearts just add a little bit of something special. I'm excited for Valentine's Day. Let me know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!